telling his supporters he's about to become much more presidential. Ed Rollins is here. You know a thing or two about looking presidential. But wait a minute. I mean, I'm intrigued at this. It seems to me that he's making an effort now, A, to win at the convention on the first ballot, and B, win over some establishment Republicans.
Well, it's very important for him to do. Can he do it? I don't know. Can a 70-year-old man change his ways? I don't think so. I'm over 70.
He's 69, isn't he?
Well, he's close to 70.
Okay, keep going.
You don't change when you're a grown man. Ask our beautiful woman here on the stage. Guys don't change, no matter what.
We'll ask her later. Let's not digress too much.
I'd be more confident. Paul Manafort, who's his new advisor, who's a very capable guy, worked with me in 1984. He's telling him that he needs to be presidential. He needs to bring his party together, which he hasn't cared about. If Trump himself, he's right. If Trump himself was saying that I'm going to be presidential, I'm going to go out. This is just an act I've been doing for the last 7, 8 months or the last 25 years. I'm really, in my heart and soul, I'm going to be a good leader. The key thing to me is being a good leader is you're going to put good people around him and listen to them. And that test is coming. Manafort obviously is a good step forward. He needs a good policy advisors. He needs economic advisors, which he knows a lot about himself, but there's a lot more people that he can add to that mix. And he definitely needs foreign policy advisors.
Okay. Now, in a speech yesterday, in an interview yesterday, he appeared to shift position or clarify his position on abortion. He would allow 3 exemptions to allow women to have abortions. And he seemed to suggest a switch in his position on bathrooms and the use of bathrooms by men and women and transgender people. Do you think that's going to allow him to hold the religious right in his fold?
Well, first of all, the abortion issue is a very critical issue, and he screwed that all up early on. I think his daughter came out and told him what the right position would be, and he's basically been on track for a period of time. The bathroom thing is not something we should be debating, and it's not a national issue, and it shouldn't be a national issue. And he already has a plurality, interesting enough to me, of the religious right who voted for him, as opposed to Cruz in the primaries and what have you. But that's a small segment of the electorate, and he has to bring a much broader segment of the electorate, and he has to get the establishment to go out. His big challenge is he says he's not going to spend any more money. He's spent less money than anybody in the game. He's got to raise $1 billion. $1 billion, because that's...
Wait. Trump has to raise $1 billion?
The party's not going to put $1 billion. They don't have $1 billion. The party
can't win the presidential election without $1 billion at least, really?
Well, that's just going to be spent against you at a minimum. And the difference is, besides going on MSNBC or Fox or Business or what have you, is when you're out there being attacked in the medium day after day after day, you can't get here and respond.
Okay, hold on a second, Ed. I'm just going to break in. Look what's happening right there. That's outside 10 Downing Street in London, the official residence of the Prime Minister of Great Britain. President Obama just drove up, arrived. Prime Minister Cameron came out to greet him. That's the ceremonial handshake right outside number 10 Downing Street. You watched it as it happened. Now they go in. Presumably, they're going to be discussing Britain's exit or staying in the European Union. That is a very contentious issue that's happening there. Before I say goodbye to Ed Rollins, you have a position on that?
I always believe in the underdogs usually win, and I think there's a mood going on there that the establishment may not understand, and I would not be shocked if they lost the fight here.
Same thing as here.
Yeah,
the establishment is falling to
thing.
pieces.
Same thing.
It's not trusted.
And I think they totally underestimate that task, and obviously with Boris Johnson being the leader of the pack, it's going to be a very significant battle, and may cost him his prime ministership.
Wow, it's big stuff we're dealing. $1 billion for Donald Trump, cost him his prime ministership. You've got it all.
If you want me on Fridays, I got to do something to compete with all the talent you've got here. So.
Flattery is the mother's milk of television.
I
know what you're doing. Well done, Rollins.
Thank you. Right. You'll invite me back.
President Obama in London today. You saw that. Listen to what Katie Hopkins said on this program yesterday.
I don't know why you've sent your man from the White House over here. We don't need an American telling us what to do. And frankly, the way most of us feel that want to get out of Europe, we'd rather have Donald Trump here reminding us that we do need to protect our borders rather than having Obama saying it's a great thing.
Okay, hold on,
Katie. Stay in the European Union. I think we feel he's sticking his oar in where it's not wanted.
Well, she speaks her mind.
yes.
Does she not? That's Katie Hopkins for you. We love her on this program, actually. Washington Times deputy opinion editor, Kelly, is it Riddell?
It's Riddell.
Riddell?
Yes, like a football helmet.
As in a football helmet?
Yes, the American football helmet.
Now, you just heard Katie Hopkins there.
Yeah.
Is she your counterpart over there, and you feel somewhat similarly over here?
Perhaps. You know, I think it's very hypocritical for President Obama to go over to London and tell them what to do, tell the UK what to do, especially when we value our sovereignty so much over here in the United States of America. I mean, we have the Supreme Court, and to ask for our president to ask us, say, oh yeah, the Supreme Court's the highest rule in the land, but it's this foreign court that you're going to have to listen to. The American public wouldn't put up with that.
Yeah, I mean, would we welcome a visit from Prime Minister Cameron to America if the Prime Minister came over here and said, you know, you want to have a union with Mexico and Canada, get together, and political and legal union?
It's completely self-serving. It's just from the US's point of view that the UK is a big ally, their biggest ally, and if they get out of the EU, in his opinion, they are weakened, and they may have to maybe turn to France or Germany as their number one friend, their special relationship. And if Britain falls out, then that could threaten the very EU's formation as a whole. And from America's point of view, that could represent a risk.
Yeah, well, I mean, it represents risk, but the U.S. and the U.K. are always going to be trading partners. They're always going to be the number one allies to one another, regardless of whether the U.K. is in the EU or not.
I think that's true. All right. Kelly, you have a column, I think it's in the Washington Times today, and I've read it briefly. You say that Bernie Sanders supporters ought to give Donald Trump a second look. Now, that's radical stuff there, Kelly.
Well, I mean, they actually have a lot of similarities between the two. Now that Bernie has no mathematical path forward, Donald Trump's really the only one, the only outsider that's still in the race that has an actual path to the White House. I mean, if you look where they stand in terms of talking about corruption in politics and money in politics, Donald Trump's funding his own campaign. He might have to cough up $1 billion, like Ed just said, in order to be viable in the general. But he is self-funding, and that's what a lot of his supporters like, and that's what a lot of people like about Bernie, is he's standing up to Hillary.
Just see it really, though. I mean, do you really see that many people who identify with Bernie Sanders, who is a socialist? I mean, do you really see that many of them saying, oh, well, I like outsiders generally, I'll go with Trump? I mean, how many are really going to do
Well, there is this Bernie or bust movement. A lot of people have said that they're not going to vote for Hillary Clinton no matter what. You had Susan Sarandon a couple weeks ago getting a high battle fight, basically saying that she doesn't know if she could vote for Hillary.
But here's what I'm getting at. It's not a mass movement at this point, is it? Bernie Sanders supporters shifting to Trump. It's not a mass movement.
No, it's not a mass movement. And there's still a lot of Bernie Sanders supporters out there who said they could never vote for Trump, and a lot of Trump supporters never vote for Bernie. But if you aren't a true socialist, if you believe that corruption should be eliminated from government, I mean, why build up government that's already corrupt? Why don't we just break it all down? And that's what Donald Trump stands for.
You know, I like that stuff. Yeah. That's pretty good. You want to come back?
Yeah, I'd love to.
Football helmet name.
Yeah, exactly.
All right. Kelly, you're all right. Thanks for joining
us. Thank you.
Now let's get to Hillary Clinton. There's a new report. It says that a super PAC spends $1 million, a Hillary super PAC, to troll people online. Spell it out.
Well, yes, this pro-Hillary super PAC says it's going to spend up to $1 million to do what it calls push back against users on social media sites like Twitter and Facebook, Reddit and Instagram. And apparently these people are very critical of Hillary. They're giving their opinions on these social media platforms. This is an effort to push back.
$1 million?
Yes, and already apparently they've addressed more than 5,000 people who have personally attacked Hillary Clinton on Twitter. So they're really trying to use, Bernie Sanders supporters are very effective on social media. But very effective. And so this is an effort to try and push back a little bit and put out another point of view.
But it will be a straightforward, I'm talking to you, an individual. You don't like Hillary Clinton.
Or it could be just the counter arguments being made by individuals out there. But it's certainly having an impact because people on social media are saying, what is this?
It's aggressive.
It's very aggressive. It's fighting back.
All right, now this.